We are live on this Manifest Wisely. What is the title of today's reading going to be? Well, let me tell you. If you don't think God has your back, He has a funny way of answering prayers like, I happened to go to church. Ding, ding, ding. Somebody noticed it. Somebody noticed it. The lady in the parking lot, she didn't have a clue. Even though she was in the church parking lot and I'm wearing this and I'm like, I need to leave. And she's like, I'm on a work call. Driving her car, picking up her kid, right? I'm like, well, I'm not picking up any kids, so I'm trying to get back to work. I'm like, I need to get back to work too, because I need to get this message out, right? Right? What a friend we have in Jesus. When dealing with folks that apparently didn't notice. I came out of the Catholic Church on Ash Wednesday while they were picking up their kid from Catholic school. Yeah, they weren't in church with them. She's on a work call. So yeah, careful when you're driving through the parking lots because there's little kids running around in the parking lot with their parents after church and school, right? Pay attention. Because if you can't pay attention to a big black Jeep Grand Cherokee with headlights on it, how are you going to see a little person? Priorities. It's about choices. Okay? It's about choices. So, my prayer, literally, I'm not even lying, was like, Lord, help me try not to kill anybody. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes some prayers, as you get older, and it's like, deliver us from evil. Yeah, because you're like, boy, wouldn't you want to? And I mean, I had to get out of my vehicle and tap on her window like this. Which I used my little vape pen. I was like, And she rolled it down the window a little bit. Like, she's just so important. So important. You know what else is important? God. You know, other stuff besides work. Other people's kids besides your own kid in that parking lot. Yeah. Yeah. Time to pay attention, lady. So, if you wonder what caused somebody to lash out at so-and-so, well, maybe she needs to learn how to operate a vehicle safely. They should just take off the Bluetooth option in these vehicles, to be honest. I mean, you shouldn't be talking on your phone while you're driving, period. You should be paying attention to what you're doing. Anyway, I'm seated right now, enjoying my tea that I abandoned earlier to go to church and then come back and get into this reading. So, what a friend we have in Jesus. I mean, you know, because Jesus wasn't the going around murdering people and strangling people type, right? Because sometimes you gotta like, that's why I said at the end, I said, what a friend we have in Jesus, right? As I was getting back into my car, Jesus is like, we're not getting arrested today over this bitch, right? Yeah, exactly. But I really do hope she's more careful in the future in her, $85,000 SUV that she's driving. Yeah, cost more than my first house. And so she's probably paying cash to that school, right? For tuition. Yeah. Anyway. Try going in the church next time. Maybe you might learn something about other people. Y'all, sometimes the messages are too easy. Okay? And literally, I was like, Lord, it's like, give me the strength to control my temper on people. You know, when it's like, and you're sending your kid to this expensive parochial school, right? Okay, to learn, I'm guessing, manners and things like that. And then they get into your vehicle and witness the complete absence of all of it, right? Do as I say, not as I do, right? Is that how we do? First day, well, it's the first day of Lent, commemorated by Ash Wednesday. And it was very interesting because it was a children's mass, which I didn't really know that when I walked in. I just saw they had a time available when I was free. the father was asking the kids when Lent actually ends. And I actually had this wrong also. It is technically ends on Holy Thursday. So, and often there is a feast of Holy Thursday. I think I did see something earlier on one of the TV shows talking about what some folks traditionally have for Holy Thursday, because there is fasting again on Good Friday, of course, and some on Saturday before Easter Sunday. Okay. So please do be kind in the chat today. Hopefully everybody is doing well. It was snowing where I am. It has snowed before on like Good Friday as well. So as I was leaving, there was a lady that was like, oh, like I'm done. Like I'm so done with the snow. And it's like, yeah, maybe by Easter we can get out of this kind of weather. So anyway, maybe I'll have some warm tea. That's what I did. I got back and I reheated my cup of tea. Now, y'all, I got this mug for free at the casino. Did you know? My big casino prize. Not the last time I was out in Vegas, but the time before. I actually like gambled and stuff in Las Vegas, having fun. And it was during COVID. So they had all these like partitions up at the tables and stuff, but you could still see through and everything. And the lady's like, give me your ID. And I was like, what? And like I thought I had done something wrong or something. It was like, am I getting shook down in Vegas at this kind of, I mean, it was an older casino, you know what I mean? I wasn't like on the big strip. I was on the old strip, And she's like, no, I need your ID so I can sign you up for this rewards program. And I was like, okay. And then she brings me back this mug. But you know what? I love it because it's bigger than a 12 ounce, I don't know if it's 14, whatever it is, but it's like, it's a little extra. So, it's like you always want a little extra coffee or a little extra tea or something. And this is just perfect for that. And then like I can always add more. I use oat milk in mine. Today is a day of fasting for a lot of people. I mean, technically, I'm kind of fasting. I did have some salmon toast, or not salmon. Yeah, it was smoked salmon dip I put on toast earlier. It's pretty good. So it's kind of when I'm getting by with today. Some people are really big into the, bread and water stuff, whatever. But I mean, there's people that are like diabetic, got low blood sugar, they can't be doing that. You know what I mean? So, and then there's also again, father was talking, I don't know what his name was. I go, that's the thing about Catholic Church. There's one on every corner, right? They'll take anybody in, right? The other Christians hate that, right? Right, we welcome in everybody. Anyway. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's it. One of the kids, he was asking the kids the questions, right? Some of the kids, well, yeah, almsgiving is part of Lent. And then father was talking later about like what, some fasting could be like for sweets or whatever. But, traditionally as well, a lot of people will abstain from meat, or they'll do like seafood on Fridays. Do a fish fry on Fridays and that sort of thing. So, if you are somebody that has, dietary concerns, you can still consume. It might, just, maybe think about consuming something different, like a fish, right? Some people can't do shellfish, but they can do like catfish or salmon or, again, like that smoked salmon, like it's already cooked. So all I had to do is like chop it up, rough chop, throw in the cream cheese, and I did lemon juice. Some recipes call for like mayo or something else, I guess, to make it kind of creamier. But, it's all to your liking. Somebody is really into these political questions today. What do you think, Zelensky, the one that happened with, is right? Ma'am, please answer this question. Which instance, Well, I'm glad the two didn't get into a brawl. Did you see when the one, I can't remember who touched who first, but I was like, I mean, Zelensky's been like on the lines, like fighting. Like he's not a dude I would be like, wanting to get into a shoving match with. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if I had to like bet on a scrapper, like okay, Page of Swords, somebody. So maybe you guys feel like somebody's watching you, and that song was coming through earlier, the old Rockwell. I'm always feeling like somebody's watching me, playing tricks on me. Oh, right. So, Page of Swords is definitely, especially in our social media day and age, it used to be like the society pages, or, you had to wait until the paper would print who got arrested. Nowadays, you just look it up on the internet in like no time. No matter what they've been arrested for, nor the circumstance. Like, the old days used to be like, you get printed, but, you get it like absolved or resolved before, you know what I mean? But anyway, so there might be something to that, judicially, that somebody is trying to observe right now, collective. I don't know if this is a situation with you personally or just somebody that you may know. So it might be one of those things where you just end up seeing somebody in the papers and you're just like, what? Okay. Alrighty. Nine of Cups. Satisfactory. Yes. 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 I'm satisfied when I'm paying attention, driving, right? That I'm able to communicate with other drivers, right? That makes me feel good. I always have my seatbelt on when I'm inside the vehicle, not being reckless with yourself. The Nine of Cups is that kind of when somebody like suggests like, okay, like Father today was talking about, staying away from the sweets or the whatever. Okay, you can do that as part of fasting for Lenten season. Some people just do that as a health thing, right? Don't think of it as punishing yourself. Think of it as giving to yourself, giving yourself something good. And you see how she has this drink in her hand? Well, maybe for you, it's like, maybe you need to moderate alcohol. Okay, literally, because she has this, cup in her hand, right? What is that bottle, too? Right? So this may be somebody for someone where you have, sorry, I gotta move for the dog here, it's where you may have some kind of temptation and somebody in your circle likes to encourage that, okay? This person also could have, go that way. This person also could have reddish hair here, as you see, okay? Um, yeah, like that one thing, and then for some people it's like, yeah, one thing leads to another, and then all of a sudden it's like, how did we get in this situation? Well, one toxic, doorway goes to another. A lot of people believe that like marijuana is a gateway drug, okay? People have believed that for years. I think anything can be turned into a toxic behavior, even being too churchy, too preachy, and do as I say and not what I do, right? So when I say, collective, that you are emotionally satisfied, if you are not, currently work on your emotional satisfaction, right? Mick Jagger, right? Dun, 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 dun. How many young girlfriends does it take Mick to figure it out? Figure it out. Like, I was thinking about that Anthony Kiedis the other day, and he's like, ugh. I mean, some of them, I'm sorry, guys. I grew up with these dudes as like being older, so when I see them with these young chicks, it's like, ugh, gives me the willies sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of like feeding into this toxic fantasy is what I'm getting. So somebody might be doing this to cope with what they're seeing from you, honestly, collective, because they see you, they see a picture of something. All right, like how she is here. They see a nice picture. Okay. And yeah, sometimes people don't understand the work that it goes into, say, beating those addictions, or doing the good things for yourself, right? Instead of looking at as a punishment of, oh, I'm taking away sugar, I'm taking away blah, blah. Again, if you're diabetic or low blood sugar, obviously you have your own, you need to do what you need to do to make that happen, right? Um, yeah, instead of throwing away some carrots that were in I soaked them and did a little lemon water on them for a couple days, and wasn't anything wrong. There's like roots growing out of them and stuff. But I like cleaned those all up, and which is why I think my garbage disposal is now jammed. Anyway, I'm waiting on the Drano for that one. But I made some carrot juice, you know. So sometimes making a little healthy choice instead of, yeah, I was cleaning up, getting rid of things, but then, transforming it into something useful, right? Into something better, right? Okay. I saved that pulp too because I'm going to try and make some like carrot cake type goodies. I'm not a big carrot cake person, but maybe I just haven't had it made right. I don't know. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say that. My mom's made carrot cake, and hers is probably pretty good. I mean, I like pretty much everything else she makes, so Anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about, collective. Taking control of your own satisfaction instead of being like, mommy's not bringing me carrot cake. We'll make your own carrot cake. Stop whining about it as if you can't do anything about it. You're making all these other decisions out here, acting as if you're an adult, right? We act as if we're adults when we get behind the vehicle and say we're driving and have control of the vehicle, but we're not acting like adults when we're not paying attention to what we're doing in parking lots. Toxic behaviors. Oh, I couldn't possibly live without me in this call. Then have somebody else pick up your kid then. If it's that important. Let work know. Okay? Nobody wants a multitask accident because your Bluetooth wasn't working in the parking lot of the church. I mean, there's drunk fucks that drive around this fucking town all fucking time are smarter than that. Good at night. What a friend we have in Jesus. What's the Vegas act for that? Like the lounging, right? You guys. It's one of them days when you're like, Lord, should I leave the house? Because King of Cups. I mean, she's another white lady too. I mean, if it's not going to be a white lady, tell her. Then who's going to tell her? Huh? Somebody's got to tell her. Might as well be me with a big cross on my freaking forehead. Where did I come from? King of Cups. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancerian energy. So, collective. That being said, all of this, like all the toxic stuff, I feel like you do have somebody potentially in your energy, or at least admiring you, thinking about you, that is kind of more of an upright, so, somebody who's more of an upright King of Cups, and it's what it's going to do is going to be a tower to some of the, you know what I mean, to the ones who were like this, okay? The ones being like, Oh, but just one thing led to another, right? And now all our pants are off, right? There was some guy that came over to my house once, like we'd walk in. I had barely even poured us some drinks yet, and he's like, "I don't understand why your pants aren't off yet." And I was, I mean, this is romance in 2025, ladies. I mean, or this is right. Oh well, let me just shimmy them off for you then. Get real. I mean. Right? We're at my house, honey. These are my rules. What a friend we have in Jesus. I mean, in a different time, I might have need some dude in the, you know what I mean? For saying something like that. When I was a teenager and all crazy and everything. Now I'm way more subdued. It's terrible. You guys. Let's see. Dropping like flies out of the chat. I don't blame you. Who can keep up? The world is a very crazy place. It really is. That's why they got people multitasking them goddamn phone calls. Two of Cups. It wanted to fall out in reverse though. So, and this is heart chakra. Yeah. Again, I feel like, wow, it's like you're not worried about this person. They want you to be worried about them. In the meantime, this one's looking at you like, hey, why don't you worry about me a little bit? And I think that's what, whoever this is, that's why they wanted it coming out in reverse. Do you guys ever see that movie, Patch of Blue? This is what this is giving me, this card right now. Sidney Poitier, if you did not know. The main character. I don't know if he was nominated for an Oscar for that one or not. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it was a pretty good flick. And it was even black and white, and that was well into the 60s. So people think that colorized film is like always been a standard, but it carried on, and there's even films that have been made later. Like, remember that movie, The Artist, that won? It was like the silent movie that they did in black and white. I don't even know if I ever made it through the movie. It's not really my cup of thing, but I mean, artistically, it looked really neat. You know what I mean? All the costuming and like the lace type, you know what I mean? How it all, stand out. That's another thing that reminded me. Okay, so yeah, we're all in this space together worshiping, right? When we're under the, getting this done today. I was watching some stuff about these lace makers making these trains and stuff for, like the royals and stuff, and how like an individual, it would have taken them 400 years, right? But because it was a team of people, right? Think about all this stuff today, all these companies and stuff, right? That was obviously not accomplished by a single human resource, right? There was a lot of people that had to go into building that up and building that up over time, right? So I think part of the message today too, especially with the kids there, was kind of about, thinking about, what kind of stuff is important, right? And how we want to treat other people and things of that nature, right? So, and here you can see these two people wanting to be kind to each other, right? No matter what the world's telling them on the outside. No, you can't do it this way, and no, you can't do it that way, and oh, you can't be Catholic and read tarot cards. You can't be Christian and do this. You can't. Who says who? Okay. My prediction for the Catholic Church is at some point they're going to allow these priests to finally get married, and then they're going to solve the priest shortage. That's my guess on that. But still a ways out. Still a ways out. And in case some of y'all didn't know, the nuns practically ran all the schools. So if you wondered who's ever been teaching your kids, right? It ain't necessarily the priest. It's the women. Okay, so show some respect. All right. Even the ones that aren't in line waiting for their kids, okay, and on their important work business calls. Some of us have to get back here and share out messages to other people, right? And keep our homes in order and have other things going on that we need to keep track of, not just work. All right? Yeah. All right. Eight of Swords. Yeah, I'm feeling like somebody wants you to feel confused about this. Again, that's like, no, you would rather like, oh, you're single. Wouldn't you much rather be doing this and that and the other and getting into this toxic relationship and getting into that toxic relationship? It's like, no, actually, I wouldn't. This was coming up yesterday, so I'm glad this was coming through in this message. And I'm here in my 40s to tell you that pressure does not necessarily stop as you get older from other people about what you're supposed to be doing with your life. Because there will be people trying to hook you up at every little juncture. Okay, it was starting when I was 13 freaking years old. Right? Trying to push you into dating this one and meeting this one and how's it going with that? And it's just like, ugh. It's like you push people so much that nobody fucking wants to do it. Okay? It's a wonder why all these kids are running around saying they're non-binary because they don't want to talk about sex and who's dating who and blah, blah, blah. Because guess what? They already saw their parents fuck it up royally, a lot of them. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just because they're wearing the wedding ring doesn't mean it's all great neither, is it? Right? Okay. Okay. So stop acting why these kids are all fucking confused all the time. Well, look at what the parents are out here doing and encouraging also, for that matter. Okay. Instead of letting people just be and chill and, you know what I mean? That's part of that Lenten season too. Getting those messages, getting that understanding from God about what you're supposed to be doing, not about what the world and everybody else and even maybe some people in your church want you to be doing. Just saying. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So again, you be starting to have this conversation with yourself, being honest with yourself about what you can. And if you tell other people, it's just more of a matter of like, I'm informing you. I'm not really asking for your permission. I'm just letting you know, like as a courtesy. Right? Like I was letting that woman know today as a courtesy. Yes, I have to get back and I have things I need to get back to do too. So if you could kindly pay attention to other people in the parking lot. Right? Yeah. No, I'm not just stuck here waiting on y'all. What? Not just waiting on me to get it through my little head that I'm not the only person out here. I did take a theater class. It's okay, you guys. You can calm down. Some people get a little overactive because people actually use their imaginations on their mouths. Okay. Do you hear the wires that are coming out? Come on now. This is not rocket science, people. I wonder why these kids are messed up. Every time they open their goddamn mouth, they was like, yeah. Can't even take them to a concert. Some people like, You know what? If you can't hear that bad, buy your fucking ticket and get your ass right up fucking front by the fucking speakers. And while you're at it, can you turn it up so everybody can hear it? I'm just saying, even, I know there were kids today talking in there, but they could have cranked the volume just a little bit, I thought, in the church, just a little bit. I mean, you guys see how loud I can project, but I'm also trained as a singer. Allie says, "Are you okay?" Well, I fell on the dirt and I went to church today, Allie. That's what happened. You know how you get that spirit of the Lord in you, and then things just happen, right? 5 of Pentacles. Look at that. Yeah, I think somebody really thought you were just gonna be like out here, what was me, like, right? Like, I don't think that lady thought I was gonna get out of my vehicle to speak to her, and when she was blocking my vehicle. I mean, I waited patiently for a very long time because obviously there was a whole line of cars. Like, I knew I was gonna have to be sitting there for a little while. But you know what I mean? I thought she would, did not see me get it. Again, church, got into the big black Jeep sitting there. Nanu. Coming in. Are they tuning in yet? Right? Some of these people were obviously not taught by nuns. Obviously. Yeah, some of us can stand up and speak for ourselves, even if it looks like we can't. Right? We're getting it done. We're getting it done. Oh, you only see me with 5 pentacles? Well, it's not my job to explain it to you how I'm going to get to 10, is it? Nope. Yeah, I feel like that's what this in particular King of Cups is admiring about you. Creativity. Because something doesn't work out and it's like, oh, I shall never live again. Right? Wasn't that is it Mystery on PBS? They have the moaning woman on top of, the wailing, right? I'm sure I could bitch and moan about a lot of things, or I could be like, hey lady, you in the big SUV blocking my car. Can you give me I'm on a work. Well, you shouldn't be really on a work call while you're in a parking lot full of children and adults, for that matter. But safety issue. This woman here, she's making sure that kid is safe, right? Okay. Oh, yeah. Bright lights, big city gone. Right? I saw him on something the other day. He just dropped some new video or something. Like Gary Clark Jr. 5 of Swords. Yeah. Tread carefully. There's people that want to set traps for you, want to watch you fall, literally. You ever have that feeling before? You have a little audience, right? You have a little audience around you, right? Which, for some of you might be getting a bigger audience as well. You might be, wow, this 9 of Swords just keeps coming up and coming up and coming up. Okay. Whoever this message is for, if for some reason you are not sure or are worried about what people might think about you doing readings or whatever, I mean, to me, this is not This is not something that's, same as like when we were in church. We were all in there singing, right? Well, not everybody, but a lot of people, you know. Do all of those people consider themselves Johns? Rejoice. Rejoice. Right. You can still sing without, getting it, cashed out in blood to the parochial school, right? That you're trained at something. Okay. Okay. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. It's something like, well, you're not supposed to be. Who said that you could? Again, you're not asking permission. It was like reminds me, I actually have had some fairly decent, I mean, in the scheme of things, decent bosses to work for. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'm not gonna complain, right? George isn't home. Okay. Like what about some she's like, I wish you would just, yeah, you didn't really have to like review these things with me, blah blah. And it's like I wasn't really trying to like, it's like if you don't tell them and you go ahead and do it, then they're like, ah, right? Especially if you work for a micromanager. Sometimes they don't agree with everything. So I just kind of learned to be like, step in there and be like, hey, this is what's on, are you on the same page? Because this is the page that I'm on right now. Literally, like the Page of Swords page. Like, right? There's people checking in because they're like, are we on the same, like, what is going on? Right? They're trying to tap in and see if they're on the same level. For some of them, they are, right? There may have been other people telling you, no, you're not, no, you must, the old, you must have misheard them. They would never say anything like that. Oh, you'd be surprised. I've heard a lot. I've repeated a lot on this channel and not said who I was speaking about. Because, yes, people will speak to you like that, right? Like the lady in the parking lot today that wanted to let me know that her work call was more important than anything that was going on in that parking lot. Why was she there? I guess that's a good question. I know why I was there. Written right on my fucking forehead. And I bet you didn't know I survived a near miss in Corpus Christi Catholic Church parking lot when I was a child. I had gotten into my mother's vehicle moments before some big Buick slammed right into the passenger side of the vehicle that I was on. I could have seriously been injured. What a friend we have in Jesus. Kind of like that Twilight, when that Edward just comes over, right, and saves Bella. I mean, it was kind of like that. Don't doubt what you've seen. Doubting Thomas, right? Many of you have been through challenges before, right? And what happened? Got right through them. Just like that. Maybe for some of you, those kinds of experiences are what's going to help you guide the next generation, right? So, if you want my 2 cents as a professional tarot reader, right, and a Master's of Business Administration holder as well, I have an MBA. that I earned from an accredited university. I also have a bachelor's degree in communication, a bachelor's of science in communication. Yes, I do. Yes. From an accredited university. Yes. I know. Well, I was a straight A student practically in high school and varsity letter athlete. Yeah, I was thinking about going into the military. Yeah. Anyway, see, mm-hmm. This is how people want you to talk about yourself, right? And that's a very Midwest thing to do, right? Oh, well, it's no big deal. Oh, it's nothing. Yeah, well, I don't see so and so out there doing it, right? I don't see, Kobe was always the first one in the gym, wasn't he? There was a reason why he was good, right? When he went pro, right, from high school, I mean, he was the one to break that barrier, right? And then everybody went and started doing it. Right? Confidence in your abilities. Don't let them take that away from you. Somebody very specific, Pisces perhaps, knows what I'm talking about right now. Ooh. So let it be said, only somebody with a pure heart understands this intention on this Two of Cups. Okay. So if you're going to readers that you don't feel are very pure hearted, and that's the kind of reading you're going to get. I'm sorry. Okay? So just realize. Like I said, right? Put it in the fuck it bucket, man. Fuck it, right? Well, how many times did you do that? And guess what? Nothing gets resolved. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's why sometimes working on that is so important for ourselves, right? Again, that's why people are observing. Okay. Specifically, this King of Cups. All right. Whew. I feel like I'm going to leave it there. I don't feel like this is your worry, though, collective, this Nine of Swords. So if you're feeling a little bit of like residual stress or anxiety, I feel like this is more like somebody looking at you and saying, yeah, but you look happy. How are you doing this? And you're not like a complete mess in toxic behaviors, right? That's what they're saying right now. It's instead, and maybe you're this masculine, and instead it's like, yeah, you're looking pretty good. Like, you don't look all rough and chopped up, and you know what I'm saying? Right? Carrot juice. Okay. There's that guy on YouTube. He has all the great recipes of combining like carrot, celery, like the perfect ratios and stuff. I think he recently came out with like a little like a juicing cookbook. He always wears that like little athleisure type stuff. Anyway, check him out if you're trying to get into juicing. All right. So as you go through the Lenten season, that is something that you may want to experiment with, have fun with, instead of, the old taking away. It's like, okay, well, instead of that, maybe I'll hit the blender and maybe we'll make our own ice cream. You know what I mean? Using milk. Like those kinds of things that can still be fun, right? And still provide us with, knowledge at the same time. You know what I mean? Kind of like, as if it was a science experiment. Okay. Somebody says, hey, everyone, hope all is well. Yes. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave it there. Coming up on 44:44 on the clock. So please do manifest wisely. Bye, and drive safely, especially in the parking lots. Singes, you may need to take a chill pill today, right? So, I mean, and not every tarot message is for everybody. Again, right? This message may be specific for somebody today. So, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't sweat it. Again, I feel like that's what some of this overall energy is wanting you to be nervous or worry about something where maybe it's not really your concern. That's why we have to give it over to God, right? And say, all right, who has my back right now? Because exactly, now we're getting back in the car. Right. Right. 18. Well, that's a wonderful age to be. Let me tell you, your body will possibly never feel better than at 18 years old. I have some decades on you, and let me tell you, keeping track of your health is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Okay, so hey, maybe look into carrot juice. I mean, if you don't like carrot juice, maybe try apple juice. I almost bought some apple juice at the store the other day. Anyway, if you did join late, this reading will be reposted to the post tab. It used to be the community tab, but it is the tab all the way to the right on the channel. So please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.